Welcome back, everyone. Conversation continues on the program this morning. This time around, we're looking at public hearing on vote buying. It's no longer news that the National Assembly is carrying out a public hearing on vote buying. And at the opening of the ceremony of that session, the Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, in their remarks, both agreed that vote buying is a menace that must be dealt with. But is that all? Joining us on the program this morning is Professor Isaac Albert, the head Institute for Peace and Strategic Studies at the University of Ibadan.
You're most welcome. Let me start off this way. For those of you also watching us, you might want to take part in the public hearing on vote buying. And for you to contribute, you could quickly use a Twitter handle to tweet at us at IATV Cafe, and you hashtag public hearing and vote buying. Okay, let me start off this way. The Senate has said that they want to look into vote buying. Do they have the integrity to do this?
Well, the first question you need to ask yourself is that who are the buyers of these votes, if not politicians? I think we're just being subjected to another, blame games that we see in this country in our politics. Those responsible for problems would point accusing fingers at some other constituencies and jurisdictions and will tell you that they are the ones to solve the problem. Now, vote buying, as rightly called, basically has to do with politicians actually paying for votes, paying for the votes of prospective voters. And to me, technically speaking, is a good sign. A good sign in the sense that our democracy, at the end of it all, is approaching the stage of consolidation. People are buying votes now because they find it difficult to do what they were doing in the past to manipulate our electoral processes. So, ballot snatching is becoming very difficult now. Auto-writing of election results, people just sitting down and writing election results is becoming very, very difficult. So, to me, I think vote buying is the last stage of our democratization.
So,
because we had several problems in the past. And what I'm actually trying to say is that we have graduated from primary school to secondary school, and now we're at the university stage.
But it appears,
and once we clean up that system, that means now democratic governance will be consolidated. So it's an advanced stage of our problem-solving strategies.
But it appears, as we are overcoming one challenge,
yes,
others keep coming. Some persons will say that, okay, if vote buying is no longer sellable, if it doesn't work again for the politicians, they will devise another means. But let me ask, it was prominent in Ekiti election,
yes,
and in Osun election,
yes,
and 2019 is around the corner.
Yes.
Do you think that will be the last we're going to hear of vote buying in 2019? Do you see it gaining center stage?
Well, I think it will happen in the 2019 election, but not with the intensity that we saw in Ekiti, not with the intensity that we saw in Osun. This is because Nigerians now have been properly educated about how it is done. And therefore, we're going to have a reduction of it. And if the National Assembly is able to come up with very good strategies for managing it, if our security officials are up and doing in enforcing the relevant aspects of our electoral laws, I think that problem eventually will become a thing of the past. It was the way it was done in Ekiti was so open that we are now properly educated as to how it could happen during the 2019 election.
When you say education, when you talk of education here, I would say it's relative, because some persons believe that we are not just there yet as Nigerians, as a country, talking of, electoral processes. Because as we speak now, a lot of persons believe that their permanent voter card, which is in their possession, is like a document, not an instrument that they can use to carry out their civic responsibility. But it sounds as if you are convinced that, okay, Nigerians are now sophisticated electorally.
Well, I think when I said we are better educated, I'm saying that those who should be doing something about the problem are now openly educated. When I say openly educated, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that they can no longer pretend to be unaware of how it's done. We had a meeting in Abuja just 2 weeks ago, and some of these issues were discussed. We had commitment from the police, we had commitment from INEC that we will never allow those things that happened in Ekiti and Osun to happen again. Let me give an example. The Ekiti election, the person paying for the vote, we maintain a distance away from the polling booth, and then you have a security official who is very close to the person casting the vote. The person casting the vote will fold the paper and show it to the security official.
That's serious.
And then the security official will knock to the agents.
Is it an allegation or something you experienced?
No, these are things that are documented in the reports of the election monitors.
But of course, the police will deny this.
Well, the police will deny it. And that is why I was talking about public education. To say they have now been, it's a public education. The evidence presented to those responsible. So you cannot go now to the next election and repeat the same thing. Because now in the public, you were presented with the picture of what you did. So it's now no longer possible for you to go to the next election and begin to do the same thing. So to me, I think we have sufficiently intimidated those responsible for this problem with evidence of what they did, and therefore I see a reduction of it. What is expected is that when you buy votes at that level, of course, vote buying is not only at the polling booth, but if you buy votes at the polling booth as we saw in Ekiti, what is expected is for the law enforcement agents or agencies around that axis to arrest you.
Okay, let's come down to
the security agency itself, agents themselves.
Of purpose. Coming down to Saraki saying that this is to enable credible elections in 2019, and we have also a Dogara insisting that this public hearing must go on to ensure that solutions are found. Do you see sincerity of purpose looking at the antecedent of this National Assembly leadership itself?
Personally, I don't see sincerity in it. You have public, what do they call it? Public hearing. When you are trying to change the laws of the land. Now, if the same National Assembly has passed a new electoral bill and the president did not sign it, I don't actually see what electoral reforms these people want to, bring about, within these few weeks or months that
are there provisions in the electoral act that would checkmate vote buying?
No, there is an aspect of electoral law that talks about election funding. It did not call it vote buying. It's called election funding. That is how much you can spend in your campaigns, where such money could be spent, how that type of money could be, procured. Electoral laws or no electoral laws, I think it's a plain criminality for people to come to polling booths to be paying for votes.
Does that amount to corruption itself?
It's a high level of corruption, because the moment people pay for votes, they are actually trying to compromise the fidelity of your democratic governance. Because what that will lead to is you end up having a leader that is not credible, a leader who bought his way to office. I don't think that is the kind of
How about
leadership.
the electorate who collect some of this money itself?
Well,
Who are always winning?
those who collect the money, I think we have to be sympathetic. Sympathetic in the sense that these people are helpless. You know, they have been reduced to such a very sorry state that 1,000 is something big to them, 2,000 is something big to them. 3,000 could make a big difference in their lives, in the sense that they never see these politicians around them. These politicians don't come around them. So if they're offering you something, well, you just want to take it. But there is a school of thought that says that if the money is offered to you, you can take it. But when you are casting the vote, respect your conscience.
And how possible is that?
Eh?
Some persons are saying that
Yes,
is corruption.
some people are, well, it's not corruption. They are saying that, well, what they are returning to you is your money. Why don't you take it, see it as a gift, but vote according to your conscience?
But two wrongs don't make a right.
Well, that's where we find ourselves. I mean, you are actually choosing between two devils. So, and when you are choosing between two devils, you end up with a devil.
Professor Abat,
Yes.
I know that you have this rapport with the head of some of these agencies in government, and you hold meetings with them. Let's talk about this Electoral Act Amendment Bill. What's your take on it? If signed into law, do you see it